blatantly. Obviously, my tier list is probably going to be a little bit different from theirs, or not too different, you know. I do have one thing that I have percentages on, and there are a couple of things that I would like to talk about in specifics when it comes to this My Hero tier list. I'm definitely going to be going into details as to why, and I'm going to be using my expertise as a fighting game player to hopefully figure out a definite balance for this tier list. Even though this battle royale is completely shooting based, in case it isn't obvious, I'm gonna have two characters that are gonna have their own separate lists that I should do right now. Frog, because obviously she's a tier above everybody else. She is broken for no reason whatsoever. Bakugo's not even that good. Exactly. Bakugo is complete ass, bro. I'll get into that in a little bit. Not gonna lie to you. Bakugo is hot garbage. Let me put that nigga in D right now. Well, Bakugo belongs in hell, straight up. But no. All jokes aside, that motherfucker need to be nerfed. He definitely needs to be nerfed. And this is God. In case it isn't obvious, God is gonna be All Might. Because this man needs to be changed. He needs to be changed immediately, okay? Bakugo needs to do less damage. Bakugo needs to do less damage. He does way too much for this game. Even the nerf to 90 is too much for this man's mobility. It is ridiculous. Cementos? I am putting Cementos 100% flat out at B rank. That is not B. This is B. I don't know if he was going to be the ceiling of B rank. His mobility is really good because his primary moves him. He pretty much is able to block off most attacks. He creates his own terrain. The only thing that is not too good about him, to my knowledge, is his damage, but I have seen him do decent damage at level 9. I think the reason why I'm putting him at B tier, at least for now, is because the characters above him just do way too much in comparison. Like the first A tier that I could definitely say is probably, I'm gonna go no. Todoroki. Todoroki's kid is definitely A rank worthy. Definitely. So his ice freezes, which creates a trap for anybody that's walking near him, which is another character that I will talk about later, who's definitely a lower tier, I feel. His fireballs are definitely really fast, and they do a decent amount of damage, but not on par with Bakugo. Dabi, definitely, so the tracking fireballs for his kid is really good. The damage might not be too high, but the tracking makes up for it, although it could use a little bit more speed. His traps are infinite until he dies or they get used. His stomp, that little fire circle, is kind of mid, honestly. You can get through it, no problem, and out of it, no problem. And it doesn't do that much damage. I will say the move when he's on the ground is way better. I'm probably going to put him as the first low. He's probably going to be a low B. He's a low B. He's not bad at all. His kit is very good. The homing fireballs is pretty much the carry. That and the traps, honestly. So right now, this is where I come into like the little struggle here, because Ida definitely, like, I'm comparing characters to each other, if that makes any sense. So like I'm out here comparing Ida to Dabi and then Ida to Cementos, and then also Ida versus Todoroki and Bakugo. I feel like Ida definitely doesn't beat Cementos. Cementos has a lot of walls, it just stops his kit fully, you know? Dabi, on the other hand, will probably have a hard time getting away from him, but Ida definitely alone does not beat Todoroki, I feel. Todoroki's kit definitely does feel stronger, so he's definitely a B tier. Ida's kit, very physical based in a shooting based anime battle royale, so he's already in a negative there, but he's really fast, he's good at rescuing, and that's pretty much all it is to him. Kendo? I feel like I have to put Kendo as C tier, bro. I think the only positive of her kit is her HP along with that fat shield. Her kit is very solid as a tank B-ish character. She's able to, she doesn't have a problem keeping people away at all, excuse me, English. But her kit itself isn't all that strong. She's not meant to be, like, I can't imagine her fighting any of the people above her and winning that fight, unless they just play their character really poorly. But even then, there's all the characters above her, up to S tier anyway, are definitely going to be able to beat her no problem. She just requires a lot of work in order to use. So Kendo is definitely low. If anything, I could probably put her D tier. We'll put her D tier for now. Kirishima. Kirishima is, wow. Is he actually an A tier? Yeah, he's an A tier. His kit is very solid and holds up. He's able to do a lot. He has a lot of movement. A lot of movement. Not in comparison to Todoroki and Bakugo, but for a melee-based dude, he is moving. His damage, amazing, honestly. For just punches, and kicks and stuff, and chops, he's decent. He is hitting people, no problem. I'm trying to think of a negative. So the reason why I think he's able to beat the Mentos, so comparing people below him, right? The reason why I think he's able to beat Cementos is because he's just faster than Cementos. Like, Cementos can build buildings, not a problem, and Kirishima is gonna struggle with those buildings, but because of his HP, and I think he has damage mitigation or damage reduction on his special action, he's gonna be going off. Cementos will have to catch him, which I think he'll probably have a hard time doing. Ida will probably win in a one-on-one fight against him, only because he's faster, not necessarily because of anything else. Kirishima, if he does catch him, is smoking him, no problem. Kirishima got that damage, which is ridiculous. Dabi, not even a contest. He's going to overwhelm Dabi. I completely see it. And Kendo, not even relevant. Not even relevant whatsoever. Deku is the king of B tiers. I cannot see Deku being A tier only because he has no mobility. No mobility. He has a little bit more mobility than Kirishima, but Kirishima's his kit is so overwhelming compared to Deku's. The only thing good that Deku has would probably be his flick, his primary. But even then, once you're out of bullets, you're pretty much stuck using his Spider-Man, Black Whip, and his kick in order to just travel or to do damage, and it's not all that good. The only reason why Deku is highly picked right now is because of his damage and his range. The fact that it's able to go through fences is ridiculous, along with other projectiles and other movements able to destroy buildings as well. I just don't see him beating Todoroki in a fight kit-wise. Damage-wise, he's definitely beating him, not a problem. Todoroki beating Deku. Excuse me, Deku beating Todoroki, damage-wise. Only because of his flick. But Todoroki's whole kit is definitely going to be able to beat Deku, not a problem. Kirishima, obviously, he's just going to overwhelm Deku, just run around him and beat him up until Deku will have to pretty much play kite. He'll have to kite Kirishima into the damage in order to win that. If he can't kite him properly, it's an L. I don't see Deku being anything above B tier. I'll leave his circumference there. Obviously, I'll have to redo this at some point with a little bit more information, especially when Aizawa drops. I'll definitely do another tier list, maybe, hopefully. But this right here, I think the circumference is perfectly fine at B tier. We obviously just need more changes. We obviously just need more changes to happen before I can actually say that these characters belong where they are. The only character I'm definitely sure belongs where they are is Deku. And then Bakugo and Todoroki and Kirishima, all three of these characters at S and A are definitely just solid where they are. Mount Lady. So, I found out about Mount Lady and her damage reduction. I made a comment before talking with friends about how her giant form doesn't have mitigation. That is completely wrong. I tested it earlier today, and Bakugo's primary, his fire move, is 90 damage flat out, right? When she's in her giant form, it does 35 damage. He loses 2/3 of his damage, which is wild. I am bad with percentages. I can't tell you. I don't want to say it's 75% because that's a quarter. 60%? 70%, I guess? Sure, I guess it's 70%. 70% damage mitigation is wild. But on top of that, she's also able to stack her own defense abilities. So once you max out an ability and you're able to actually get more cards and use it, she becomes a ridiculous tank and damager. But outside of her giant form and the stomp, her primary is kind of mid, and so is her kick outside of giant form. I will say she is definitely at least above Dabi. At least above Dabi. I do not see her and her kit beating Ida unless she's in giant form. If I'm applying giant form, she definitely jumps up to at least an A, a B, or a low A. Shigaraki, one of my two main characters. This is where I'm in pain because I want to be biased and I want to throw his ass up to S tier. I want to throw him up to S tier, I really do. His kid is not good. His kid is not good. So for those who know Shigaraki, right? For those who know Shigaraki, this is where I'm just placing him for now. he might actually go here. We'll talk about it. For those who don't know Shigaraki, if you watch the anime or don't, his quirk is decay. Anything he puts his 5 fingers on is basically dead. So in the game, he's able to do long-ish range projectile that's only on the ground. The problem with that is that it doesn't go through buildings, for one. 2, it doesn't go under fences. It doesn't go over barricades, which doesn't make sense. His beta quirk, ridiculous, especially at higher levels. That definitely goes through walls. His gamma, his grab, now that it has a second use, is not bad at all. But it's very niche. You can enter a fight doing that, no problem, which you guys are going to see me do later. But his main ability that you guys are going to see him use is definitely going to be his alpha. His alpha is really good. The only problem is that if he's on top of a building, he's not doing any damage. If he's on the ground and you climb a building, he's not doing any damage. He is very specific, and because of that, he is very low tier. I would even say, no, he's definitely better than Kendo. And the reason why he's better than Kendo is because his kit actually only goes through defensive abilities. So Kendo's shield is getting ate up by it. Momo's shield, when it's on the ground, is definitely getting ate up by it. That's the only thing it pretty much goes through, which is honestly a really bad thing, at least for Shigaraki's kit. Now, what makes him at least better than Dabi, what makes him better than Dabi and Mount Lady is that his range on his primary is really good. These guys will not escape unless they try really hard on doing it. Shigaraki is the king of third parties. I played Mount Lady. I didn't think she was B though. Well, what do you think, so of her kit, what do you think is her strongest bit? Because I would say that the only thing that's really good about her is her stomp and her kicks only when she's in giant form. That is it. Outside of that, she doesn't really have much else, especially that could beat Shigaraki, Ida, or even Cementos. I'm always willing to argue about certain characters, placements, not a problem whatsoever. Her growth, yeah, but that's her, so her whole kit is definitely based around her giant form with that 2/3, 60-70% mitigation, but she becomes a giant target. I thought she was lower? Really? Really? Okay, why lower? So let's say I put her versus Kendo, right? Do you see her losing to Kendo? Pun intended, I see Kendo getting stomped on. I can't imagine her losing to anybody who, it's kind of hard because there's not that many characters that are gonna be that low. I can only really see her being a B tier, low B. I see her kit being better than Dabi, but not better than Shigaraki. So Shigaraki is definitely the king. He's the king of third parties, but as the king of third parties, he has a weakness, and his weakness is everything else in the game. So B tier for Shigaraki, low B tier even, but he's not losing to Mount Lady or Dabi. I don't see him losing to them. She takes way too many hits too fast. Her stomp has no splash range, and her dropkick is just one-way missile where the opponent has to be moving pretty much like a snail to hit. Her projectile has no range, even compared to Shigaraki. Shigaraki has a lot of range, so if you're comparing it to him, that says a lot. So comparing it to Deku and Bakugo and Todoroki, yeah, she definitely has no range. Put Todoroki S tier? Why? I'm gonna have to disagree there. He's good. He's definitely at the peak. Where's Froppy? There you go. Froppy is gone. Once you frozen, you can one-shot with him? Yeah, but isn't that very niche? Don't you have to fall for that trap in order for it to work? The only reason why I'm not putting him on par with Bakugo is because Bakugo trumps him. I'm not gonna say they're on par at all. If they were to do a best out of 10, like 1v1, no problem. Bakugo's beating him. I got bamboozled by the blood girl, bro. Okay, I'm gonna get to Toga in a second. I didn't know she could copy people, username and all. Yeah, dude. Yeah, I don't know why she's able to copy the username. That is completely odd. But Toga's... I'll get to Toga. I already put Shiozaki on here. I don't know much about Shiozaki, but I will say this. Her range is ridiculous. Those plants come out of nowhere and they hurt. I don't know why. She's not that good. She moves really slow. Her moves come out really slow. The only reason why she's above Kendo is because she can res. And Her grab, you're able to combo with her grab. For those who don't know what I'm speaking on, hold on. Wait, hold on. We're missing a character. I just realized there's a character missing from this. He's not even on this list. Pikachu, Kaminari, his dome, his Volt Tackle dome, you're able to combo that, in case you guys don't know that. So if you have projectiles, or if you have anything that's able to hit somebody while he's being hit by that Thunderdome, you're able to combo that. It's the same with Ibarra. Ibarra's grab, where she stuns them, you're able to hit them in that, and that's the only thing that's really good about it. That, and on top of that, it's really far-reaching, I believe. I don't think it's short-range. It's definitely at least mid-range. It's decent. But she's definitely better than Ibarra. She's losing to everybody above her, though. She's definitely better than Ibarra. Ibarra is definitely better than Kendo, but she's losing to everybody else above her. I do not see her being higher than that. Where's Toga? I'm getting to Toga in a second. I gotta do Momo first. They could have made his kit better. They could have made Dabi's kit exactly like Todoroki's. So my revision for Dabi's kit, hear me out. You make it completely offensive based, because Dabi has only been a defensive character to my knowledge, outside of the traps that he used that one time in their training arc. Dabi should be throwing fireballs, big fucking fireballs, which they are in the game. They should be moving faster than Todoroki's. They should be doing more damage over time than what they currently do, and he should also be doing damage to himself. It doesn't make sense that he's able to do these fireballs non-stop. They do not hurt as much as Todoroki's DPS. He needs to do more damage than Todoroki. His fire is already canonically stronger than Todoroki's. It doesn't make sense that he is not on par skill-wise, at least kit-wise, with Todoroki. Dabi should lose only in mobility. Damage-wise, Dabi wins, canonically. His kit in this game is complete garbage. He's losing kit-wise to Todoroki, and it doesn't make sense. I feel like Kendo should have the same special action as Deku and Ida, just because of her quirk. Funny enough, she kind of does, but it doesn't pick them up. She's just able to throw. He's meant to be a zoner. Dabi, yes, Dabi is 100% meant to be a zoner. And as a zoner, he's really good at that. He's definitely doing a good job at that, but if you were to run at him and just dodge his fireballs, which are, I think he only has 6 at max level, what is he going to do to stop you? The traps or the fire stomp? That's it. This game needs to do a lot more with their villains, because just going based off this list right here, I have all of my villains at bottom tier. Shigaraki, Dabi, Compress, and Toga. All 4 characters, I don't see any of them being anything above a B. And not even high B, low B, all of them. Kendo should definitely have that pickup as an offensive. What is she? Assault, that yellow shield. She's a defensive character. She should definitely have that. Definitely. I don't know why she doesn't. And in fact, she's able to throw you across the map. It's not far, but she's able to throw you. And that's useful, but it's never happened to me in a game. It's only happened to me in the lobby. There's so many iconic villains in My Hero so far, not just those recent ones. Definitely. Definitely. A couple of them that, if they do their kit right, that are going to be top tier. Overhaul, Nagats is going to be... She's going to be ridiculous. Nomu, depending on what Nomu they put in the game, Stain is going to be wild. Stain is going to be, I feel, because he was already leaked, for those who do not know. His kit wasn't shown, but he himself was already shown to be a character. He's going to be ridiculous. If I see it right, he's pretty much going to be the really speedy offensive character that just does hella damage up close for no reason. And then he's also going to have a quirk. He's going to have an ability to put fear into you when he's low, when his HP is low. So I'm assuming he's going to have an attack up while his HP is lower as a special action. That's it. And it's going to go crazy. All for One, I see All for One being a purple 100%, and he's gonna have an ability similar to Toga where he's able to steal quirks, but he's gonna be able to store them permanently. I have no idea how they're gonna be able to do that, but if they implement that, it'll be really cool to see him using everybody's quirks. He'll pretty much just be All Might, but the counterpart, quite literally. If I see All for One knock down a Cementos and a Bakugo, it's a wrap. He's probably going to have Cementos's stone building, and then he's going to be able to shoot you. Like, that's ridiculous. But back to the characters that we have so far. Momo's kit is decent. I'll put Momo here, above Dabi. Dabi's definitely the low B tier. Dabi's just stuck at low B tier, bro. There's no way Davi's getting above that. Momo, her Fly Swatter is a very good attack that works really well semi mid-range or close to mid-range. Her shield travels far, and the best positive thing about her shield is that she can't get hit from the back. The cannon summoning, really easy to dodge, not really all that good. The only reason why I put her above Dabi is because her shield will easily overwhelm Dabi, no problem. Her shield is not beating anybody else. It's overwhelming Dabi, no problem. Whereas Endeavor on this list, Endeavor's kit was leaked, but there's no way to actually tell what he does quite yet. Back to Momo. She's decent. She really is. But her kit itself is not beating anybody that's above her, at least where I placed her. And that's all that's pretty much to her is her shield being invulnerable to being attacked from the back. That is the main thing that makes her decent. Her Fly Swatter is also really good at range and is very good at breaking shields for some reason. Even at full shield, she's able to knock people down almost to no shield with just the Fly Swatter alone. I don't know why that's a thing, but it is what it is. It's like, why have a shield at that point? But that is where she stands. Pikachu, because he's not on the list for some reason. I don't know why they didn't put him in this one. This is wild. I might have to make my own tier list and use these icons and grab him and put him in here. Pikachu himself, not Kirishima. I'm just gonna keep calling him Pikachu because of Kaminari. Kaminari is definitely gonna be. Funny enough, he'd probably be above Deku at A tier, at B tier. His bolt tackle's really decent. When it hits them, it stuns, no problem. His dome, oh my god, that range is decent. It's so good. So I'm putting him above Deku only because of the area of effects he has for that dome. His mobility is not better than Deku, but he's able to beat Deku, I feel, strongly, with his traps alone. This dude can make like a goddamn Rubik's Cube in front of him, and Deku can't really get to him. Although Deku's kit was primarily trying to focus on flicking him down, you know? I feel like Kaminari is definitely a decent character, but definitely not strong enough to be an A rank. Definitely not strong enough to be an A rank. Now we're up to my favorite girl, who's sadly not good at this game at all outside of her knife swipes. She has to go. She is low B tier. The reason why she's low B tier. So let me preface this. Toga's not losing to Ibarra or Kendo. No problem. Her kit is definitely okay. Her knives do not do enough damage. Although she has a plethora of them, it is not enough for it to matter. Her main damage will probably be coming from her knife swipes, which is really good when you can hit people with it. Now, her transformation, it is the main thing that you will be using on her kit. Now, when you do play Toga, you will not be leveling up her transformation. At least not even, that is the last thing you're going to be leveling up. With Toga, you want to focus on her beta, and then her alpha, and then her gamma. Her transformation, even at level 9, it lasts a really long time, but you need to be really specific about who you choose to transform into. Only a couple people, at least I've only been bamboozled once, which doesn't make any sense, by a Toga, because she transformed into me and I saw my name. I was confused. I thought I was fighting a bot. It wasn't a bot. It was Toga beating my ass. Toga's transformation ability works if you transform into any of the characters in A or above, and you know how to use their kit. If you transform into Froppy, you are getting away and you are rezzing and you are good. You are solid. If you transform into All Might, your presence is going to be overwhelming so long as your HP isn't low. And you have good escapability. Bakugo, I don't need to explain Bakugo's kit. You guys know how Bakugo plays. Todoroki is very good at controlling the fields. And Kirishima is going to be a riskier pick, only because he's mainly physical and Toga isn't. So, you're going to want to be careful transforming into him. Also, a couple other good picks to do, depending on what's going on around you. Cementos, Shigaraki, and a high-level Ochako. Those are the only really good picks that you could do. Anybody else is pretty much up in the air, you know? You don't really have to pick them. But the characters that I listed are definitely top picks for Toga's transformation. And it's pretty much the carry of her kit, honestly. You can go to endgame. I've seen people in the Discord talking about her kit being not good for endgame. I disagree. To a point. Her beta and alpha, complete garbage at level 1. Complete garbage. You're not doing enough damage for it to matter against level 9s. Her transformation is going to be the carry if you die and come back at the end of the game. Only because you can get immediate level 9s with a really strong character, so long as you actually get it off. The only problem is that you will run out of time in the transformation really quickly. Toga's not that good, and it sucks so bad. But it's still early on. The game's only been out for about 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks. So we will have time to see how they develop her. But she is the most honest character, I feel, to the T. Like, copied from the show and manga to the game. I feel like her kit is solid. They just need to do a little bit more damage-wise or something else with her in order for her to actually feel good. Now, the last character that's here, Ochako's float for herself, really good. Float for the team is not bad at all. The float for the enemies, that little trap, also really good, especially because you can combo into it. Her plungers, definitely good when it works. I witnessed a stream earlier today where the person he jumped and tried to plunge her, used 2 of them on the same spot of the wall. Went through it. Don't know how, don't know why it's broken. It doesn't make any sense, but it is what it is. And then her last move and her only good move is the car. It's really good. Really good at taking damage away from you at higher levels, obviously. I wish that if you were to throw as you go up in levels, the damage when you throw the item is massive. I wish it was. I've seen somebody throw a car long range and it only did like 30. It doesn't make any sense. I don't know why. Especially how hard it is to hit something with that car. It doesn't make any sense for it to do low damage. It needs to do more damage. Ochako... B tier. I can't in my right mind put her kit above Cement Sauce. I can't put her above some Mr. Compress, and I definitely can't put her above Deku. I can't put her even nowhere near A tier. You're too generous, bro. I think that she should be able to float her whole team. If you like nerf the amount of time that you stay floated, floating, and you apply it to the team, it'd be pretty cool. That way everybody's still able to approach with her rather than only her. But, you know, that's just what it is. I don't think it's generous putting her above anybody in B. I don't think it's... I think it's actually doing a disservice putting her below B. Because she's definitely better than at least Ibarra and Kendo. She's not on par at all. And obviously, the top 4 characters, the top 3 characters here, what do they all have in common? High damage and very good at controlling the fields and overwhelming your enemies at all points in time. Honestly, there's nothing that Bakugo, Todoroki, and Kirishima can't do that anybody below them can do better. Honestly, and the part that matters anyway, because obviously there are characters that could res in B tier that they can't do, but who the fuck cares? You just kill the other team, there's no need for res. This is where we are. I don't really have any other changes that I would like to add. If you guys obviously have any questions or statements, and obviously just let me know. This is just where I'm sitting for now. We could definitely argue later on. I'll leave this up while I'm playing the game. That if anything changes, I'll definitely talk about it. I just don't think it will change. I'm pretty solid about this, honestly. I think this is pretty much it. Obviously, I'll post a photo in the Discord. The official My Hero 1 and mine. That way people could yell at me and say that I'm wrong and ask questions as to why. Other than that, I think this is pretty much it. We're gonna move on to the game and start complaining. I'm ready to possibly move forward in gold rank.